in the Pat Mooney showroom, and today we're going to go over a demonstration of showing you how to operate a BS-300A. So machine's main power is already turned on. I'm going to turn on the control voltage, which will also kick on our hydraulic pump. When you first turn the machine on at this point for the very, very first time, this would know when if you have it phased correctly. And if you do, if your hydraulics aren't working, you need to check the incoming power to the machine and maybe have that corrected. So this is your manual screen. So if you're going to make, a manual cut, this is where you do it. And manual semi-automatic. So this is your blade speed. Other than that, all you'd have to do on this screen if you're going to run a manual cut is you have to hold the screen button and this locks your front clamp. When that turns green, it means you're good to cycle. And from there, you'd cycle the saw. This green button here would cycle it. And it's going to fast approach, rapid down until that touches the top of the material. And then once it's done with the cut, it would pop up normal machine stop. If you're going to make another cut, use this yellow button. That raises it back up. And then again, you'd open up your clamp, you'd feed your part through, clamp your part, and then you'd hit this to cycle the saw again. So this is your cycle start button for both your manual cut or, your full auto. To adjust your feed rate, that's going to be done over here. And then above is your pressure. So feed rate, this is actually how fast the saw head is descending through the cut. And then pressure is the amount of hydraulic pressure that it's applying to the cut. And you're going to want to, these both get adjusted based on the type of material that you are cutting. The saw is going to come with a chart, that's going to give you recommended pressure range and feed rate range based on different material groups. So the harder the material, the higher the pressure. And then it'd be the inverse. The higher the feed rate, is going to be on your softer materials and lower pressure. So if we are going to be cutting, let's just say, for example, we're cutting 1045, we would set our feed rate between 3 and 5 and our pressure between 1.3 and 3. So say that's what we're cutting. We'll bring this to 2.5, and then we'll start out kind of in the in-between range for our feed rate. Other manual movements you're going to have here. So this is your carriage vise open and close. And that carriage vise does open on both sides. So it accommodates bent bars. It does open on the fixed and movable side, which I'll just show that movement again. And they're full stroke clamps, so they do open to the full stroke. You have, as I showed before, this is like your reset button or raise the saw head. This is saw down, bring your saw head down, which would go down until the rapid approach arm touches material or the saw table. As I showed before, this is your front clamp close, and it needs to know that it is closed in lock. So that's what that green button is for. And when this turns green, it means front clamp is closed. That's a safety feature. So the saw knows the clamp is closed. And then this is to jog the carriage vise. Automatic. And this is where you're going to set different cut lengths. So the machine can be set up to run in 2 ways in automatic. You can have it cut program 1, then program 2, and then program 3 without the machine stopping. So for example, if we had this at 5 inches and wanted 9 of those, the machine would make 3 1-inch cuts, and then it would automatically jump and make 2 1.5-inch cuts, and then it would jump to the next line and make 9 cuts at 5 inches. So it would cut these 3 without stopping. You can set it so it would pause. So whatever program is selected, that's what it's going to run. So if we're going to cut, let's say 90 1-inch pieces, after the saw had cut 90 1-inch pieces, no matter where it is in the bar, the machine would stop with it set to program pause. But if you want it to run continuously from, program 1 to 2 to 3, you set that to program no pause. And you can set up to 9 different cut lengths. So that's what you have for storage as far as cut lengths go. If the job that's what we're going to run, before you'd actually come in here to run it, you'd go back to manual. You'd want to make sure this is green once you have your material in. So let's just say we have to load our bar. So you'd open your clamps, you'd load your material, and you load your material so it's past the saw blade so it can make a trim cut, a reference cut. Or if you're going to measure out and make that a good part, you'd measure that part out. Once you do that, close and hold, that turns green, then you will go into auto. We'd already programmed in our, we want to make 90 1-inch cuts. So from there, we're all programmed. All we would do is hit cycle start. Machine does have an out of stock switch, so it's going to make the one cut and then stop automatically since we don't have material loaded in. When you'll see over there, we have a chip auger. When you first get the machine, chip auger will need to be installed. It ships on the pallet. Then you will also have for the back side of the machine that would go behind where the carriage moves, there's a 7.5-foot roller table that comes with it that would be positioned back here that ships on the pallet as well. Power connection is back over here. Your saw blade tensioning is right here. So this is hydraulic tensioning. This is with it tensioned in this position. And then when you do first get the machine, you're going to fill it up with coolant. Coolant is poured into your chip conveyor tray. And those are your basic functionalities of the BS-300A. If you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you.